Hi, I'm Megan, and I have had 37 surgeries. I've had one on my right ankle, two on my right knee, both my hips, 22 divided between both my shoulder joints and my shoulder blades, and then 10 on my spine. I am fused from the back of my skull down to my pelvis. This means I have no mobility in my spine whatsoever. I can't turn my head to the right or the left or look up and down. But the question is, how did this all happen? What happened to me? I get asked that all the time. And before Instagram existed, I used to blog all the time. And so I'm going to read basically chapters, like chapter 1. So we're going to rewind to September 21st, 2005. And it's the jump that changed my life. As far as I was concerned, Wednesday, September 21st, 2005, was going to be just another ordinary day of being a junior in high school and having soccer practice afterwards. Boy, was I wrong. Little did I know, this is the day that my life would change forever. It is the day that would be marked in my calendar like a birthday, but rather than a celebration, it represents how many years I have been injured and on this journey. It is the day that shattered my dreams of wanting to go to college on a scholarship for soccer. More than anything, though, it is the day that has marked the beginning of what has now turned into a 16-year-long medical journey of traveling from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, putting my foot in the Atlantic Ocean, putting my foot in the Pacific Ocean, and enduring 37 surgeries. Leading up to September 21st, there was a lot of activity. Homecoming had just ended 4 days prior on a Saturday. I ran what would be my last 5K to raise money for prostate cancer on Sunday. I had the last soccer practice that I would ever participate on Monday. Then, for the upcoming weekend, I had a soccer tournament in Champaign, Illinois. I had my driving permit, so I was looking forward to getting to drive there with my parents and hit the road. Like most 16-year-olds, come Wednesday, I was looking forward to the weekend. Up until last period when I had gym class, I don't remember much of what happened earlier that day of school. In the women's locker room, I do remember telling one of my teammates from soccer, Lindsay, that I was really looking forward to practice that day. I don't know why, but I had the biggest urge to play soccer so bad. I love the sport. In gym class, we were playing flag football. It was a hot, beautiful, sunny day. My teacher told our class to head outside to the school's new turf stadium field and to begin playing. Being the competitive person that I am, as usual, I was getting really annoyed when the guys in my class wouldn't throw the ball to any of the girls. It was really, really rare if they did this. I remember I was just kind of standing in the middle of the field when my teacher yelled out, 5 minutes left of class. A few minutes later, there was one final throw of the football down the field. I stood there and looked up at the ball as it spiraled through the air. As I watched it come closer to me, I remember standing there thinking, there is absolutely no way that I will catch that ball because it's way too high. In a split second, the competitive side of me kicked in, and I thought, what the heck? It's possible. If I catch it, it'll be a great catch. And if not, it's no big deal. So I jumped as hard as I could, and I outstretched my arms way up into the air. I watched the ball as it went past my fingertips. I twisted my body to the right while I was in the air to see if the ball had been caught. All of a sudden, there was this realization that gravity was bringing me back down. I felt so off-balanced. Panicked, I twisted my torso to the left to see if anyone was next to me to grab onto. There wasn't. It was too late. All of a sudden, crash. I heard 2 audible pops come from my right ankle and a surge of pain run through the outside of it. At that, I hear my teacher blow his whistle to indicate class was over in the background. There I sat on the ground with the hot September sun beating down on me as I was unable to speak from the shock and the pain. I was all sweaty, tears running down my cheeks, knuckles white from gripping the new green turf, as hard as I could, hoping somebody would realize I am hurt on the ground. As I sat on the ground, watching my ankle get bigger and bigger, a few classmates gathered around me. One of those classmates was also my teammate. Bree tried to untie my gym shoe. I remember kind of yelling at her not to do that because the shoe would help control the swelling from the compression. I told her to get the teacher and to tell our soccer coach I would not be at practice. My teacher came. He and another classmate helped me up. My teammate ran to the nurse's office to get a wheelchair. Instead of waiting for the wheelchair, I got up and told my teacher and classmates to help me get across the field. With one of my arms wrapped around each of their shoulders, I started hopping. The pain was awful. Blood was rushing into my ankle and pulsating, and I wanted to scream. My teacher tried carrying me, and I yelled at him to put me down because my ankle was bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. After what seems like forever, I got across the field, and as I looked up, I could see the nurse jogging towards me with the wheelchair. As I watched the nurse jog towards me with the wheelchair, all I could think was, thank God. As we rushed to the nurse's office, I kept my head down so nobody could see me cry. All the students were leaving the school to move on with the rest of their day as the school day had ended. Finally, we arrived in the office of the nurse's office, and I laid on the bed as the nurse put ice on my ankle. The nurse left to call my mom, and all I could think in that moment was, why in the world did I jump to catch that football? It was too high, and you knew it. What a stupid decision you just made. It was automatic regret. The nurse came back and told me my mom was on her way. She told her that I sprained my ankle, that an ambulance was called, and continued to tell my mom my mom kept repeating that she didn't think it was necessary. She would just drive me to the hospital. After all, it was just an ankle sprain. I chuckled to myself because I knew there was absolutely no way she was going to be getting me into the car and on the way to the hospital herself. Shortly thereafter, I heard my mom. She took one look at me and said an ambulance was a better option after all. As the paramedics got me all buckled up on the cot and wheeled me to the ambulance, they gave me a shot of morphine to help with the pain. It did absolutely nothing. In the ambulance, as more pain medication was being injected into my IV, both paramedics started taking bets. They thought for sure I broke my ankle. But surprise! After I was wheeled into the hospital and had x-rays, it showed there was no broken bones. The ER physician wrapped my foot up and gave me something that would change my life forever too. Crutches. Little did I know I would end up on those crutches for the next 9 months straight. So reading that, man, it's over half my life. It happened half my life ago. And there's so many emotions. I could cry easily. I'm trying to hold them back. But I remember how free I felt and the wind in my hair and just loving being able to run. I loved it. I loved soccer. I loved everything. But now you get to wait until I read chapter 2.